You don't have to be an avid watcher or reader of the news to know that opioid addiction has become an epidemic here in the United States, especially here in Western Washington. Opioids are now responsible for more deaths than car accidents nationwide. And with Republicans and Democrats seemingly at each other's throats over any given issue, they do both strongly agree that opioids are a major problem in our country. Here in Pierce County, a special task force has been formed to try to look into this problem and end the opioid epidemic.
That is why, effective today, my administration is officially declaring the opioid crisis a national public health emergency under federal law, and why I am directing all executive agencies to use every appropriate emergency authority to fight the opioid crisis.
In 2017, President Donald Trump declared a crisis in America's fight against opioid addiction. Washington State is one of those hardest hit when it comes to opioid addiction and overdoses, and Pierce County is one of the worst regions in the state when it comes to opioid overdose-related deaths.
We know in Pierce County and Tacoma that the opioid fatality rate is higher than the state's average and that it's growing. So we know that more people are dying from opioid overdoses and are more likely to die this year than did last year.
Tacoma Deputy Mayor Connor McCarthy is one of the two founding members of a special task force that was developed in 2018 to try to come up with a solution to the county's staggering opioid addiction and death rate.
We in government need to do a better job educating the public on what really works in terms of how can we really help to turn people's lives around and get them on the right path.
In 2015, the county's rate of opioid-related deaths was 10.2% per 100,000 people. The state averages 9.8. That's why this task force is tackling opioids on three fronts. One is prevention and education, two, access to treatment, and three, finding the right services for the community.
Basically bring folks together that don't necessarily talk every day. So we have everyone from cities and county government, law enforcement, to social workers, treatment providers, the judicial system, you name it. If they touch this issue, we've got them at the table.
Pierce County Councilman Derek Young is the other co-founder of the special task force. He hopes not only for a solution to the county's opioid epidemic, but also for a realistic and sustainable strategy that will target the root of the problem.
People my generation grew up with DARE. We know two things. It made us aware of drugs. It also wasn't very effective. So we have to come up with an approach that's both reduces stigma, which is difficult because that whole peer pressure component is often a tool that actually works. But the second is that it actually be effective in reducing people using.
Looking beyond incarceration for those who are caught illegally possessing opioids is a big start when working to overcome the county's addiction to these powerful drugs and breaking that vicious cycle that keeps adding fuel to the fire.
We've seen a lot of improvement in Pierce County with our drug court at the Superior Court level and District Court level. There's incredible improvements that the court's made in making sure that we're not trying to jail our way out of this problem.
The task force hosts a summit every February to share their findings and get comments from community leaders, members, and outside organizations.
And the idea was the task force has been doing a lot of work. Let's bring people together from a much larger group of people, check in with folks, make sure we're on the right track, get feedback and other ideas, and then get back to work.
Partnerships with the community will play a big role with the success of this task force and finding a path to putting an end to opioid addiction and deaths in Pierce County.
And every once in a while, you see those partnerships develop in ways that I didn't expect when we pulled this together. It's just having those people next to each other talking, and they have these little aha moments and realize that they can fix the way things work and increase the amount of people that they can get into treatment. That's the big thing.
If you or anyone you know has a problem with opioid addiction, the county can help. You can go to the website listed at the bottom of your screen to get more information. That'll do it for this edition of Northwest Now Digital First. I'm Chris Anderson. Thanks for watching.